Gavin, now that you've had a chance to review the film, what was the biggest thing that stood out in the Oklahoma State game for you?
Just our, I guess, a lack of toughness on the boards. And, you know, they were relentless. They were pursuing the ball, being physical, and we just were watching at times. And then there were times where we did a really good job of matching their intensity. So it's just that consistency component where, you know, they catch us in a rotation. We've got to be able to get back and hit first in terms of being fundamentally sound on our box outs. And that's something we'll work on tomorrow.
You guys still control your destiny when it
Yeah.
comes to the Big 12 tournament with
Mhm.
you're 2 games behind currently. What is the message to the girls as you come down the stretch with this last few games you guys have?
Yeah, I think we have, you know, the toughest road trip for us because it's the farthest we have to travel. So that's going to present some added stressors. And so we're going to have to be locked in, ready to go at Cincinnati. So we'll be focused on that. It's the same thing, one game at a time. And in this conference, you know, any given night, any team is going to be able to beat any team. So we are just really focused on that. The way the last week of the season plays out, you know, we have 3 games in less than 7 days. So it's going to be really critical that we get off to a good start at Cincinnati, and then we'll take care of the next one in terms of our focus, and then the next one. But the last week, there's a gauntlet going on with some of the other teams that are right there with us and I guess above us in the standing. So it's going to be a cool way to end women's basketball in the Big 12, and I think a lot of eyes will be scoreboard watching, and so it'll be fun. Fun last week in the Big 12.
As you head down the stretch, what's the biggest thing that you guys feel like you need to improve on?
I think it's just max effort, consistency, playing hard all the time. There's no room for error in big games, especially at this time of year. Every possession matters, so you can't take that possession off. You've got to get it everything you have. And if you're tired, let us know. We'll get somebody in there that's fresh. But you just got to be able to maintain that max effort, playing hard, giving 100%, 100% of the time.
You say, on these long road trips can bring added stressors. What is the school and what do you try to do to kind of relieve some of those when you're flying across the country and then playing?
Well, first and foremost, our athletic department treats us first class with charter flights. I mean, it's amazing. This time around, we are flying commercial there to Cincinnati, but from Cincinnati to West Virginia, we'll on charter flight, and then we'll charter back the next day after West Virginia. So we're taken care of in terms of accommodations, travel. The added stressors is just the time zone. We have no control over that. We're leaving early. So we're going to control as much as we can control. Our players, they need to hydrate, they need to rest, they need to eat. We'll do our part in making sure we're at our peak come game time with our load management and those type of things. But we have a great sports performance team that helps us to navigate through that. And then again, we have the full backing of our administration that allows our student athletes to travel first class, and we're ready for wherever we have to go.
I'm curious about the response from the team after the Oklahoma State game. How was the morale? How was the vibes around the team?
It was very somber and kind of just, not motivated to really do anything because they take losing pretty hard. But after meeting with them, talking with them, they were able to, snap out of it. It is one game. You got to look forward now. You can't be looking in the rearview mirror. So that's where our mind's at right now. And so today's off. It's a great break with 3 games coming up. It's good now to kind of get our rest, recovery, because after next week it's the Big 12 tournament. And if, we want to stay long, we're going to have to play probably 4 games in 4 days. And so we got to be fresh. So it's very critical that we do our part in making sure we take that rest and recovery now and then get ready to go for the next couple of weeks. So I think our mindset will be good. I told our leadership team, I'm going to feed off their energy. You don't want me to lead the energy come practice Friday because that might be unpleasant. So if you bring the energy, I will follow your energy, and it'll be a great practice.
I know you still have, the 3 remaining games in conference and the Big 12 tournament coming up, but I just want to know, what are your overall thoughts of this conference now that you've played, upwards of 90% of this schedule?
Yeah, I think it's a great basketball conference. If you look at the net rankings, we have a bunch of teams in the top 30. And it's just and like I said, any given night, you're gonna have everybody give us your best shot. So it's a great women's basketball conference. It is a lot more physical, and I'm not sure if it's some of these officials that we've seen for the first time versus some of the officials that we usually have had in the past in the Pac-12. So it's just getting used to our style of play as well as us getting used to kind of the tendencies and how they call the game. But it's something that I know in the off season and as we prepare for next year, it won't sneak up on us. It won't be a feeling out process. We'll be ready to go from game one in the Big 12.
Speaking, like, building on that, now that you have had this, like, up close and personal feel of the Big 12, is that going to make, any portal recruiting that you have in the offseason, is that going to make it kind of easier knowing what your deficiencies were this season that you can implement heading into next season?
Yes and no, because I think we kind of recruit to a system, we recruit to a fit. So yeah, we'll address some needs in some areas just to get better, and we want to stay relevant, and we also want to climb the ladder of the Big 12. So absolutely, but I think with what we have coming in with our great freshman class, it's going to be a little easier in terms of picking people that fit and want to play in this style of play, because our style of play is going to remain the same. It's not going to change. We're going to make everybody else adjust to us, and then we will make sure that from a physical standpoint, we're ready to go from the beginning. And at the end of the day, what are we, 11-4? What's our record? I have no idea. It's so funny. But, it's like not much adjustments. We're actually competing really well in the Big 12 here in our first year. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, Gavin.